Yeah, we are going to see how we can troubleshoot a Telnet service. A Telnet service is an application layer service that is used for remote configuration. So if you need to configure your devices remotely, you can use this type of service to configure your device. So what is needed? We need to have two devices. One is Telnet client and the other is Telnet server. So a Telnet server is the device that we need to log into, but a client is the one who is going to log into the Telnet server. So because this is a network, that means each device need to have a IP address. This IP address identify each device uniquely. So if I need to log into a Telnet server, I need to have IP address of a Telnet server. So a Telnet client, I just put this IP address because to make sure that these two devices, they're in the same network. That's why I'm using this IP address 192.168.0.2 and 192.168.0.1. So this is just a simplified version of a complicated network topology. As you can see, I have two routers and one switch, but in a real world scenarios, you can't find a thing like this. What you get, maybe you will find is like it's a network topology of this structure. So here I have large number of routers, switches, normal PC, laptops, access point, access controller, and a web server. So in here, maybe if PC1 is a Telnet client and administrator is just located in here, so I need maybe to configure this router 3 in here remotely. I don't have to go physically to this router. What I need is to log in remotely into this in this router. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use a Telnet. So a Telnet, I'm going to configure Telnet between this PC1 and router, and then this will allow a PC1 to log into router 3 for configuring this router 3, monitoring it, and viewing some configurations command that I've already configured. So what is Telnet? As I said, Telnet is an application layer service that works under server client mode. So we need to have server and we need to have a client. So a Telnet server it's simple. If we configure Telnet server, a Telnet service, that means we are going to establish a TCP connection between a client and a server. So a TCP connection is used to transfer informations concerning the connection. So all configurations that we configure or that we send to the Telnet server is going to be transmitted through these TCP connections. So in troubleshooting this kind of service, what we need to know is how Telnet server is working. And if we know that a Telnet server is working under server client mode, and what we need is to know the IP address of a client and the IP address of a server, so that we can log it into the Telnet server. Then let's see if from this network topology, let's see what is the problem. As you can see here, there is Telnet server and the Telnet client. What I need to see is if I can log into the Telnet server. So go to the Telnet client. Then now we are in the Telnet client console. So here, type to Telnet, then specify the IP address of the Telnet server so that you can log in. 168.0.1. Now there is no any response from the Telnet server. That means we cannot log into the Telnet server. So here there is a problem. So these are the steps that we are going to use to troubleshoot this kind of service, Telnet service. So there is two things. In Huawei, there is method that are used when you need to troubleshoot any kind of service, OSP, routing protocols, Telnet services, SSH service, BGPs, and things like that. So we have this method. We can use either top. We can use either. You can use either top down method. This method is used when if no fault is detected in a network layer connectivity, then you can use this type of method. If you can be able to ping the Telnet server from a Telnet client, that this kind of method will be good for you when you need to troubleshoot a Telnet service. Also, we have bottom up method also is used, but this one, if a fault is detected in a network layer connectivity, then you can use this bottom up. This means we are going to troubleshoot from the physical layer to the application layer. In the top down method, we are going to troubleshoot the Telnet service from the application layer to the physical layer. So these are two main methods that we can use when you troubleshoot this kind of service. Also, there is other services, example configurations comparison. You can compare the configurations of two devices, and then you can see which one has got some errors and things like that. So for our case, let's see how we can troubleshoot this Telnet service. So let me squeeze this a little bit in here so that you can see it well. Now, first of all, before troubleshooting a Telnet, you have to make sure you can reach a Telnet server. Before even troubleshooting the go in detail in the Telnet server, try to ping from the Telnet client and see if we can reach a Telnet server. So come in here, then ping a Telnet server. A Telnet server, this is the pair of Telnet server 168.0.1. If we ping, then request timeout. Therefore, we can't even reach the Telnet server. So first of all, we need to we're going to use which method? It's a bottom up method from the physical layer to application. So that let's first rectify the problem of connectivity between the Telnet client and the Telnet server. So in a bottom up method, you can use either of these methods, either of these things that I'm going to tell you in a minute. First, go physical to a device, a Telnet client, a Telnet server, and see if there is any indicator that shows maybe the existence of error. So as you can see here in Telnet client, the interface shows a LED indicator. That means this interface has some fault. Can it be a link fault? Can it be an interface fault? So let's see how can we rectify this first. So you can go and see if it is disconnected, the cable is disconnected, or the cable is connected to to another interface that is not configured. So let's first see how we can rectify this kind of connectivity. So we have many many commands, especially when we are troubleshooting. These are the most important commands that you can use when you're troubleshooting. Ping command is the basic commands. We have transit to check the path of the packets from the destination from the source to the destination. Also, we have the display command. Very, very, very important command. You have to make sure you know at least this command before proceeding. So in here, let's see what is the problem in this Telnet client. So let me display the interface informations of Telnet client. So display interface brief. Say display interface brief. When I run this command, I can see now this. So this is the command, display interface brief, and this is output. So as you can see here, I have 3 interface: Giga Ethernet 000, 001, 002, and this Giga 000 is the one which is connected, but in here it says it is down and has an asterisk. This means this interface can be maybe is administrative shutted down. So go and see if we can shut, if you can unshut this interface and see. Okay, let's go forward and enter into the system view, then interface Giga 000, then line display this command. This command shows the detailed information about that view. So because I'm in Giga Ethernet interface view, so once I like this once I learn this display this command, it means that it gives me the information about this view. So as you can see here, this is the interface Giga 000, and the description is connected to Telnet Server, and it is administratively shutted down. So go forward and then make sure you unshut this interface so that it can be able to transfer packets. So the command that we're going to use, we're going to say undo shut down. Then as you can see, now the interface is up. Now the indicator, the color of the interface changes to green. This means that this interface is active. So let's see if we can ping the Telnet server from the Telnet client. Now ping 192.168.101. Now request timeout. Now as you can see, I from the Telnet client I can ping the Telnet server successfully. So now the first step is we have completed the first step. Then go to the okay. Now tie to Telnet. If you can Telnet to the client, to the server 168.0.1. Okay, the problem is still persisting. So let's see, cancel. Okay, now for this case now, the IP connectivity between the Telnet client and Telnet server is no longer available. So what you need is to check the Telnet server itself. Try to check the configurations in the Telnet server and see if there is mistakes, misconfigurations, and any problem that may cause Telnet server to fail. So the IP connectivity, now I can ping from this to this. Now the method I'm going to use will be the top to down method. Top to down method, I'm starting from the application layer to the physical layer. So go to the Telnet server. This is my Telnet server. Okay, Telnet server, then go to the system view. Okay, before anything, you can try to check if the Telnet server is enabled. So what should you do? You have to write display Telnet server status. Now this command runs successfully. Okay, now you can see the Telnet server is enabled. By default is enabled, but someone can disable this Telnet server so that to deny all services from Telnet. Then the next step, we're going to see to look for the number of users if has reached the maximum, because we know this is Telnet, and Telnet allow multiple access, so more than one user can log in into the Telnet server simultaneously. At the same time, more than 15 users can log in and can configure that device. So let's see, and let's go forward and then look for the number of users. Okay, the command that we're going to use, say display user interface maximum VTY. So this command is going to give us the information about the maximum number of users. So as we can see here, the maximum number of VTY, visual terminals, is 5. That means only 5 users can log in into this Telnet server at the same time. So if there is already 5 users login, so you can't log in, because the maximum number is only 5 users are allowed to log in. So that is for my case. It's only me that I'm going to log in, so this is not a big deal. Okay, now the third point, maybe we're going to, let's see, to try to check if there is any access control list ISL is configured. So maybe someone might be configuring this access control list to and deny some traffic from any subnet. So if there is access control list configured in the user interface VTY view, so it can be a problem. Sometimes it can cause a problem for Telnet client not to log into the Telnet server. So go and say display access control list, or because we don't know which access control list, or maybe you don't know if there is a access control list configured, then you can write this command to see if there is any access control list configured. So this command will give us and say there is a basic access control list 2001, and as permit the source IP address, the source subnet. This is the source subnet which is permitted, and this is a read guide mask, shows that the maximum number of user that can be permitted in this in this subnet. So go to the user interface VTY 0 to 4 up to 4. Then if we display this command, that means I need to see if there is any configurations. So as you can see here, there is access control list configured to 2001 in the inbound direction. So this is not a big deal, because this access control list has already permit this traffic. So any packet from this IP or from this network is going to be permitted by a Telnet server. So this is not a big deal in this case. But if you found that this access control list deny all packet from this from a Telnet client, that means you need to change. You need to modify the access control list so that you can allow traffic from the Telnet client. So the next step, we're going to see to check if the protocol inbound is configured to Telnet. That is very, very, very important point you have to know. There must be the Telnet should be allowed in the user interface view. So as you can see here, this is the user interface, visual terminal 0 to 4. So in here we have these configurations. So these are the configurations that are configured in a user interfaces. Visual terminal 0 to up to 4. That means there is access control is configured. Authentication mode is configured to AAA. This means that there is a user which have a username and a password. Also, there is a protocol inbound configured to SSH. So if it is configured to SSH, that means it is not configured to Telnet. So make sure you change this field to Telnet or all. So you can just to change it, just run protocol inbound. You can say a user to Telnet. It's okay, because I'm need now to allow only Telnet service. But you can also say all. This command is going to permit a SSH and a Telnet at the same time. So this one is protocol it's not a protocol. Okay, protocol. Okay, now the configuration is running. So display this. Now, as you can see, access control list is configured. This is access control list configured. There is a authentication mode to AAA, and the protocol inbound now is configured to all. That means a Telnet is also allowed. So I think that is a basics command, basics configuration, troubleshooting command that you're supposed to know, or the procedure that you're supposed to know once you need to go to troubleshoot a Telnet service in Huawei. So let's see if I can go forward and then save the configuration. Then okay, go to the Telnet client, then try to Telnet. Try to Telnet 168.0.1. Now pop, as you can see, now the Telnet service is now allowed because I managed to log into the Telnet server. So here the Telnet server need you to put your credentials. So the credential, the username is admin and the password is admin at 123. Now pop, as you can see, now the user view changes to Telnet server. That means I am in the I managed to log in into the Telnet server. So here I can do anything that I want. I can change, I can display configure, I can display current configuration, display current configuration. As you can see, you can change even the name, system name, to Telnet server. Yep, you can do anything because now you have the access with the Telnet server. So I think that is the procedure